So, after months and months of trade speculation, Odell Beckham has actually been traded to the Cleveland Browns. This is so weird. I did not expect this whatsoever. We literally just made a trade with the Browns 4 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever it was, and then I get an alert that Odell's been traded to the Browns. I thought it was a joke at first, honestly. I thought it was one of those fake Twitter accounts or whatever. Turns out it's true. The Giants got a first round pick back, 17 overall. Third round pick from the Browns and young safety 23-year-old Jabril Peppers, who was a back end first round pick a couple of seasons ago. Well, in my opinion, the Giants made a really nice move with the whole Kevin Zeitler trade from the Browns, getting a really good right guard, very highly touted, great PFF grade, amazing pass blocker as well. Thought Dave Gettleman was finally getting on the right path. I was starting to believe in him. I even took Fire Gettleman out of my Twitter profile, out of my Twitter bio. And then he pulls some shit like this. And this is the kind of stuff that makes me realize why people like D'Angelo Williams and Steve Smith Sr. on the Panthers were not fans of Dave Gettleman. I mean, things like this, he will turn on you in a second, in a heartbeat. Dave Gettleman has said numerous times, like, we did not sign him to trade him when talking about Odell. And then here we are. Odell Beckham literally has New York City tattooed on him. And then here we are just trading him after he signs a 5-year contract for $90-something million. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. To me, this is actually so hilarious because the Giants, as I said, could have had a third-round pick for Landon Collins. They're getting a third-rounder back in this trade, but you're giving away a superstar wide receiver, a top 3 receiver in the league, in order to do so. I understand Odell can be kind of a headache sometimes. He does have some temper tantrums and whatnot, but what he does on the football field cannot be replaced. I hope we all agree on that, and I hope we all know that. I had a tweet earlier that the last time the Giants were competitive in 2016, Odell Beckham must have won 3 or 4 games single-handedly for them. I remember specifically that Ravens game where he had like 220 yards. Then he had that slant touchdown against the Cowboys and like that 10-7 win, whatever it was. So he was doing his part. And, when the Giants have a competitive team around him, Odell Beckham is a very important piece to a good football team. But right now, we're not good. I understand it. So, in a way, I'm kind of happy that Odell gets out of this shithole, the Giants organization. He gets to go play for, but play with his best friend Jarvis Landry, play with his friend Baker Mayfield. The Browns are rumored to get Earl Thomas as well, and, this team might be really, really good next year. The Steelers are looking like they're going to fall off. I don't know about the Ravens or the Bengals, but, right now it looks like the AFC North might be ran by the Cleveland Browns next year, so that'll be interesting to see. But in terms of this trade, I just do not really get it from the Giants' perspective. You're getting a young safety in Jabril Peppers. He's a talented player. I mean, I call him a poor man's Landon Collins right now. I think eventually, probably next year, we might see that reversed. I think eventually Peppers will be a better player than Landon Collins, but as of right now, I think Collins is the better player. You are getting the 17th overall pick. That'll be interesting what they use it on. Some people speculate they'll trade it for somebody like Josh Rosen. Not sure about that exactly, but at least they get another first rounder out of it. They get the third rounder as well. More picks for this team that is definitely rebuilding. There's no question about it now. I always say the Giants are confusing because they make moves like one move makes you think they're rebuilding. The next move makes you think they're going all in like the Zeitler trade. And then the next move they make like this, trading Odell Beckham, makes you believe they are fully rebuilding. But then you look at their quarterback who's 38 years old, on the decline, and is owed $23 million, and they still have him as their starting quarterback next year. So not all of it adds up. That's why I'm frustrated, and there's no vision. That's why I said last video Dave Gettleman has no plan. And then people after the Zeitler trade were like, oh, what do you mean? This guy definitely has a plan. He knows what he's doing. And then he just makes a move like this. Like, what? Does this guy really have a plan or no? I feel like he does not know what he's doing. It's concerning. It really is. I mean, there's just no light at the end of the tunnel for Giants fans. There are a lot of pissed off Giants fans today. Oh my God. The last couple hours on Twitter have been just complete. I don't even know. It's just been like a war zone. And, people are just really furious with this organization, and rightfully so. Some people are making Dave Gettleman cancer jokes and shit, which I'm not for that at all. I think that's pretty messed up, and we probably shouldn't be saying that. But I understand the guy's not a great GM, but don't bring his illness and stuff into it. Just not a good look for Giants fans. We'll be like the Utah Jazz fans if you guys know about that story. But anyway, this was a tweet that I made like 24 hours before the Odell trade. And I was basically saying that I just hope we go all in for 2020. Obviously, the big splashes or most of the big splashes of free agency have happened already, especially for the big defensive players, are mostly off the board. Even the low-key guys like Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, I believe they both ended up on the Packers. Even Adrian Amos went to the Packers, so the Packers are living our dream offseason right now. That's kind of funny. But I'm basically saying that I don't want the Giants paying A-plus money for these like B-minus type players. I'd rather have one of those 2020 quarterbacks rather than, use this pick on Haskins right now. And, use majority of these draft picks that we have right now to add defensive talent. Having young defensive talent that are on rookie deals is a big thing to win in this league. And the biggest thing is obviously having a quarterback on a rookie contract. We're seeing what the Browns are doing right now. We've seen what the Rams are doing right now. We saw what the Seahawks and Russell Wilson did when he was on his rookie contract as well. So obviously that is the formula for winning in the NFL right now. But right now, we're not in that position. We're paying Eli Manning $23 million, limited cap space. I mean, we still probably have $25 to $30 million left, but the Giants have not really made any big moves at all. I mean, they signed Antoine Bethea, who's going to be 35 next year. He did have a nice year under James Betcher, had a nice year last year as well, I believe. Re-signed Zach Diassi. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Spencer Pulley was brought back for 3 years and like $9.5 million. I thought that was a little pricey, but oh well. But outside of that, I really don't think we did anything significant in terms of free agents especially. Also, the Falcons picked up Jamon Brown today, so a lot of Giants fans thought that Jamon Brown was like the Jesus of the right guard position, even though he was just average. A good depth player who could play right tackle if needed and right guard, obviously. But the Falcons picked him up, so no more Jamon Brown. But our offensive line definitely looks a lot better as compared to what it was even a couple years ago, even last year. We're going to have Nate Solder, who was solid. Will Hernandez is entering year 2, who looked really solid in his first year. Jalapio and Spencer Pulley will compete for center. Right guard is going to be Kevin Zeitler, who obviously is right now one of the best right guards in football. Right tackle is still up for discussion. They do have Wheeler still. But, they're talking about Darrell Williams going to the Giants, who missed basically all of last year with a knee injury. So I'm not sure what they're going to do at right tackle. I kind of hope they address it in the draft so that they can save money at that position. They're already paying a lot of money to their offensive line, so I'm hoping that they can, look at it in a cheap way and draft the right tackle somewhere in the middle rounds. That would be ideal. But anyway, so I want to give, a shout out here to Shermer Gang, who tweeted this. This is really the only way I can forgive what Dave Gettleman did tonight. So he says, okay, hear me out. The only way this possibly makes sense in my head, Dave Gettleman knows 2 things right now that we don't. The Cardinals are bailing on Rosen, and we're picking him up for a second rounder. He's absolutely in love with DK Metcalf, the wide receiver from Ole Miss, the freaking freakishly athletic guy. So we get Rosen, pick up DK in the 6th, at 6, and then get a pass rusher at 17. I mean, that's a decent way to go about it. Obviously Metcalf is no Odell Beckham yet. He could be, obviously, but we're not sure about that. But that would be the only way this makes sense to me. If not, then I don't know what the hell Gettleman's doing. I really don't know what he's ever doing, but this is definitely a head scratcher for everybody at this point. I don't think there's one person that's going to stand behind what Dave Gettleman did tonight besides Mike Francesa, because he despises Odell Beckham, but we all know that. But I'm hoping that maybe they can pick up Rosen and cut Eli, gain some more cap space, and just start Rosen next year, pick up some defenders, get themselves a right tackle in the draft. I mean, right now it's looking ugly. It's really looking ugly next year for us. I mean, right now this roster is probably a 5 or 6 win team. Hate to break it to you. There's still a lot of offseason left. There are good players out there, as I said, but as of right now, on March 12th, not looking good for us right now. Definitely, I don't think we're improved from last year, and obviously the draft is still to come, but it's going to be a lot of uphill climbing for the Giants to get better from where they were. So what do you guys think about all these moves the Giants have made in terms of trading? Obviously, Landon Collins' name is not on here because he wasn't traded. They let him walk. Hate to say it again, but it's true. So they traded Odell Beckham, Olivier Vernon, Damon Snacks Harrison, Eli Apple, got back Kevin Zeitler, Jabril Peppers, a first rounder, a third rounder, a fourth rounder, a fifth rounder, and a seventh rounder. Do you think that was enough brought back from all those players? I don't know exactly. I do wish they got more for Odell Beckham. I do think he's worth, a first and a second. My dream trade, someone tweeted this, I forget who the name was, but it was like with the 49ers, the second overall pick, a second round pick, and DeForest Buckner for Odell Beckham. I thought that would have been like a dream type of trade, but of course that was never going to happen. But that's the kind of bar I would set if you want Odell Beckham. I don't think Dave Gettleman gave Odell up for enough. I think I don't want to say the Browns fleeced us in this trade, but I think the Browns definitely got the better part of this trade, and they'll be a great team next year if Baker Mayfield stays healthy and improves. So that team will be fun to watch, but in terms of Giants football, it is getting ugly here. There is no plan. Every fan seems very pissed off, myself included. But at this point, you can probably tell by the tone of my voice, I am just burnt out from all this. I mean, I came on here last week, exactly a week ago, and was pretty passionate about the Landon Collins thing, and nothing happened. They didn't franchise him. They didn't franchise him and trade him. They didn't try to sign him long term and then trade him or anything like that. Landon Collins obviously got a ton of money, so I'm happy for him. But Dave Gettleman has now had a long enough track record based off his Carolina and Giants tenure to know that he's not going to be anything special as a GM. I don't believe in anything this man does. And it's concerning, it sucks, because we all love this football team. We want to see them do well, but right now I just do not see a way that it's possible. But here we are with a bunch of draft picks this year. This will be a huge draft that'll determine Gettleman's tenure as the Giants GM. I hope he can trade one of those picks for Josh Rosen. I think that would be the right move, and hopefully move on from Eli Manning. Save yourself around $20 million. I think that would be the play right now. But we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. Obviously, I'm sure everyone's pissed off about the trade, but let me know what you think about it in the comments. Of course, follow my Twitter. It's at Mike_NYY. And thanks for watching, guys. And after some more news happens, I'll talk to you then. But for now, hopefully Dave Gettleman knows what he's doing, because I have not been impressed so far. But hopefully he can somehow turn this around. Not sure how he does it. But we'll see what happens. As always, for you guys, I will make highlight videos of Jabril Peppers and Antoine Bethea. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And if the Giants sign anyone else, of course I'll do that. So those will be coming up soon. Hopefully you watch those, give it a like, and as I said, I'll talk to you guys next time.